Hot takes on the Venus signs. Might even throw in a few of the Jungian feminine archetypes to go with them. And before y'all come for me, just remember, astrology is much more nuanced than this. We look at the entire birth chart to get the full picture, but these videos are always a lot of fun. So we're gonna start with this one. No one gets the ick faster than an Aquarius Venus. They remind me a lot of cats in a way. Like if they jump up on your lap and they want cuddles, great, soak it up. Don't get too excited because then they're probably gonna like judge you. If you try to scoop one up and say, let me love you, it's not gonna go well. They're gonna run away, they're gonna hide under the bed, and they're gonna judge you. Aquarius Venus just speaks a little bit of a different language when it comes to love. Any romantic gestures that they make usually have a little bit of irony to them. They're also probably drawn to really interesting and unique, out of the box, unexpected type people, and have very obscure interests along that same vein. Of the Jungian feminine archetypes, the Aquarius Venus would be the sage, about wisdom, acquiring new experiences, thinking bigger, enhancing and enriching their mind, but also with a tendency to detach from emotions and intellectualize things. Actually, speaking of the ick, I feel like a Gemini Venus could also get the ick. Not as much as Aquarius, but they get it. The mental connection, the intellectual connection, the conversation, the stimulation, that is all non-negotiable. And I feel like you need to have a sense of humor with Gemini Venus, in part because they're kind of perpetually that kid in the 4th grade class who would throw like paper airplanes at you, and then you find out later, oh, like he had a crush on you. I also think Gemini Venuses are the type of flirts that people usually think Libra Venuses are. Gemini Venus could also be the sage because they really are about that wisdom, that intellect. But they could also be the maiden, which is characterized by some naivete, perpetual childlike qualities, and a lot of curiosity. They also just don't really want to grow up. On the topic of flirting like a Libra Venus, diehard romantics, there's a bit of an idealistic quality when it comes to romantic relationships for you. You guys definitely have at least 1 or 2 Pinterest collections of different wedding themes already going on before you've met that person. You guys really will get stuck on that one toxic ex because you had this idea about what they could be and what your life could look like. And I'm not saying that they're shallow by any means. I'm just saying, if a Libra Venus is crushing on you, you're probably pretty cute. Jungian archetypes, y'all could definitely be the maiden because there is that childlike fantasy kind of, I'm Cinderella, where's my glass slipper type of vibe. But y'all could definitely be the lover too. One of the perfect examples for the lover would be Marilyn Monroe and also Kim Kardashian. I know she's controversial, but you know what I mean? Very fantasy type dream babe vibe. But then you're also kind of like, okay, what else is going on? Like, can we get to some other layers? I know I'm kind of tough on you, Aries, so let me start off by giving you this. Aries Venus has this type of seductive quality to them that never fails. You know, you know. There's like this enchanting, alluring, kind of fiery, spicy, ooh, is it going to be hot when I touch it vibe. Like a raw sensuality. But also, if there isn't a little bit of competition, a little bit of chase, a little bit of excitement, perhaps even some violence, are y'all even interested? Fighting is kind of like foreplay for you guys. If you can match their energy in an argument, that's a love language. Some would say that there can be some selfish patterns that pop up in love. However, on the bright side, that leaves a lot less room for resentments because you guys just speak your mind. You can't even help but speak your mind in the moment. And then you're able to just kind of get over it. You guys would absolutely be the huntress. There is this warrior type energy that comes with Aries Venus. So much independence, so much fire. You guys will not change who you are to fit anybody's expectation of you, especially not traditional feminine stereotypes. Like, that's just not you, and I fucking love that. Tell me why Taurus Venuses are often much more like Scorpio Venuses than most Scorpio Venuses. I feel like Taurus Venus is the definition of a secure attachment style. They can be really slow to commit. They're gonna wait and make sure that they're not about to incorporate somebody that's going to disrupt their peace in any possible way. There's a very possessive quality that comes with Taurus Venus, and I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. You know those accounts on TikTok? They'll be like, look, my husband took me on this shopping trip, and then we went to this fancy sushi place, and then we flew in my jet, and we got this new Birkin bag, and blah, blah, blah. Like a very exquisite, sort of slow-paced, lavish lifestyle. And then you remember that behind the scenes, she's expected to uphold very traditional, stereotypical feminine roles within the relationship and like isn't allowed to work and is probably expected to bear at least 3 children. That really gives Taurus Venus energy. And no shade, that really works for some people. Not for me, but Taurus Venus is definitely the queen archetype, prestige and status, soaking up that high life while all of the peasants do the rest of the work. And on the topic of Scorpio Venus, if you're not ready to go and make a blood promise to them, better yet, if you're not ready to go make a blood promise, slit your finger, let the blood drip into a little vial, and you both wear each other's blood around your necks all the time, a Scorpio Venus isn't going to waste their time. There isn't really a talking phase. Scorpio Venus gives me very Edward Cullen vibes. There can also tend to be a blend of pain and pleasure, and perhaps even confusing the feelings of pain for pleasure and vice versa. You catch my drift? A Scorpio Venus is out here trying to merge souls with you and nothing in between. When they love you with a loyalty and a ferocity and an intensity that cannot be matched. There can sometimes be some jealousy, some possessiveness, and testing. I feel like Scorpio Venuses really like to test their partners and see, like, how serious are you about me? How much are you willing to put up with? And they either have a zero tolerance policy for even the faintest whiff of jealousy, or jealousy is like a little game that y'all play in your relationship. I have a friend who is a Scorpio Venus. She was in a relationship with this guy who needed to get sober, but he was really afraid of the withdrawal. So she's like, oh, I have a great idea. I'm going to do the drugs with you, and then we can withdraw together. And that gives very Scorpio Venus vibes. Also a little bit of Pisces Venus vibes, but we'll have to get to that one in the next video. As for the Scorpio Jungian feminine archetype, obviously the mystic. Intuitive, mysterious, magical, a little bit dark, all about depth and transformation. They really might feel like an outsider sometimes because they have so many layers to them, but obviously there could be a whole lot of magic to it too. Stay tuned for part 2. Bye.